It's the ever subjective 5 best Planeswalkers. Welcome to the channel. My pack cracking family's Clever Magic Trevor here on the Clever Magic Community YouTube channel, and today we got the 5 best Planeswalkers. The 5 best Planeswalkers cards. Holy crap, this was a lot harder than I thought. I could give a bunch of other cards a nod. I will say one that didn't make the top 5. That's my probably favorite card is Urza, but he didn't make the cut, and I think that's because he relies on too many other things in your deck. So without further ado, let's start not with number 1, with number 5. Number 5, we have Fieri Time Raveler. Look, Magic the Gathering history, Fieri is a pacifist, a good dad, generally a nice guy, but anybody that played Standard with Fieri Time Raveler knew that he ruled the day he was in Standard. Still to this day, let's take a look at him. He's a 3-drop, white and blue, colorless. Each opponent can cast only any time they could cast a sorcery. So basically, there's no instance, no such thing as instance for your opponents. Only sorceries. +1, until your next turn, you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. Oh man, are you kidding? So they can only cast sorcery spells, and you can cast instants. Oh, ridiculous. Until end of turn, of course. -3, return up to 1 target artifact, creature, or enchantment to its owner's hands and draw a card. So removing their best card on the board isn't good enough. You actually get one, so it's like a +2 cards card advantage to you. And this card is ridiculous. So it's still played in I think it's like 30% of decks or something, which isn't a ton as far as like when you look at the staples like Soul Ring and stuff. But when you look at Planeswalkers and stuff, it's dropped into a ton of decks. It's absolutely ridiculous. And when it was paired with Narset, my gosh, talk about just shutting down everybody else, just shutting down the whole board. Hey, listen, we're not playing today. We're just doing Fieri. I mean, I don't know how many times I love playing with him, but I don't know how many times I conceded just when he got dropped and I knew that I didn't have a chance at that time. And now on to number 4, Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Yes, the Spirit Dragon. I had to go with Ugin. He had a reprint in M21, and I just think that this card just it's absolutely ridiculous. And look, it's an 8-drop. But let's take a look. +2, Ugin the Spirit Dragon deals 3 damage to any target. 3 damage is quite a bit. You get a lightning bolt for a +2 every single time. +2, right? -X, exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. That is ridiculous. So look, you're not getting rid of anything artifacts, but I remember hitting a -6 and still having Ugin alive and wiping the whole board. Wiping the whole dang board. And then the -10 is absolutely insane. It just basically takes over the game. You gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, then put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. That's when people scoop. And I personally think that this guy, as long as you don't get him early in the game, he's a game changer. Not in a ton of decks, but he's in a decent amount that yes, he gets the number 4 spot. Number 3, Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Look, I had so many different Planeswalkers on this list. But let's check this out, because she's got 4 abilities, and whenever you have 4 abilities and only a 4-drop, it seems overpowering. It's basically 4 cards in 1. You get a +1, exile the top card of your library. You may cast that card. If you don't, Chandra, Torch of Defiance deals 2 damage to each opponent. Look, oh, geez, you don't even need to play a card and it's doing damage, and it's a +1. +1, you add 2 red mana to your mana pool. That's insane. And -3 deals 4 damage to target creature. That came in handy so many times, that -3. But look, as always, if you can get to -7, so if you get 3 pluses on the pluses and you get to -7, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell, this emblem deals 5 damage to target creature or player. 5 damage. Pretty much you might get -7 in a few short turns. They done. They probably be scooping if you hit the -7 on this, and that goes with most of the planeswalkers on this list and in general. They get to their ultimate, you're done. You done. And let's move on to number 2, Ocoth, Thief of Crowns. And I know what you're thinking on this one, but he's number 1 because he's the most banned card ever. And yeah, I could argue that he's number 1, but because he's so banned, he's number 2. Okay, we had to put him on the list because he's so overpowering, he's so ridiculous. But I reserved the number 1 spot for one that's played quite a bit. So let's take a look at Ocoth though. +2, create a food token. I actually use that quite a bit. He's only a 3-drop. Okay, first of all, he's only a 3-drop and he comes in with 4. Okay, he already comes in with 4. A +1. This should have been like a -1 or -2 in my opinion. But a +1, target artifact or creature loses all abilities and becomes a green elk creature with base power and toughness 3/3. I'm going to tell you what, I've used this on my own creatures and artifacts. I've used it on other people's creatures and artifacts. It's just insane. I needed to do 2 damage or whatever. I turned my own artifact into a 3/3. It's just stupid. It's really, really stupid. And that ability right there for being a +1 is insane. I've also used the ultimate, which is a -5. Exchange control of target artifact or creature you control and target creature and opponent controls with power 3 or less. Okay. We'll just exchange something dumb that I have for something fantastic you have and something that you are completely reliant on. This card is absolutely stupid. It's stupidly banned. It never should have got past playtest, to be quite honest, because a lot of times when they ban a card in playtest, they say, well, we didn't have the mass amount of people to figure out that it was broken. Look, you need 2 people to figure out that this card is broken. 2 people! You and the person sitting across from you to figure out that this card is just stupidly broken. If you don't have something to deal with Ocoth right away, you're done. You done. So Ocoth gets the number 2 spot. The number 1 spot, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Yes. Okay, I had to go with Jace. Ocoth is far too banned, and Jace is arguably the best Planeswalker ever printed, and that goes for cards across the board. I gave the Mind Sculptor the number 1 spot as the best Planeswalker card because it's still played quite a bit. It's only a 4-drop. You get 3. Let's take a look at the abilities. 4 abilities +2. Look at the top card of target player's library. You put that card on the bottom of that player's library. Okay, target player's library, not opponent's. Target opponent or anything. It's target players. You can look at your own. You can look at theirs. It's a +2. It gets you 2 ability points, and I mean, it's just now you're predicting the future here, right? For a 0 cost, it's draw 3 cards and then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. You could keep doing that over and over and just play and pick your hands. Pick the hands that you want to have. -1, return target creature to its owner's hand. What? What? It's only a -1, so I think that one should be a -2. As we saw in the Fieri, that should have been like maybe a -2, and then they get the extra -1 for a draw. It's just stupid. But this -1, return a creature. Oh my gosh! What if it's an 8-drop? Yeah, the opponent's really screwed. And the -12, which is more fun than just about any ultimate out there, is exile all cards from target player's library. Gone. Then that player shuffles their hand into their library. Oh man. Okay. Okay. So you get 2, 3, 4 cards. How many cards do you have in your hand? That's what your library is going to get, and that's how many turns you're going to get for this. Now, Jace the Mind Sculptor. I figure Jace overall is the number 1 pick. I had a number of other ones, but Jace probably is the number 1 pick. He gets the number 1 nod for the best Planeswalker card. And that are my top 5 Planeswalkers. Look, Karn. I can't. There's too many planeswalkers. Liliana, she does stupid stuff. Some Sorin planeswalkers are pretty bad. But look, these are my top 5. I think I got them right. Okay, so you can lay down your comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me where I'm wrong. But I did my best on this one, and I looked through all the planeswalker cards, and I pretty much already had the list ahead of time. I pretty much already had the list based on how much play I've played with them, and I've gone against opponents with them. So let me know what you think. Regardless, we'll catch you on the next video.